now we basically discussed bringing in images, creating layer stacks. Now I want to look at some other just like pre-processing operations. Okay, so first off, let's say you just wanted a subset of this image, and you didn't want the whole image. So there's a couple options for that, or a couple ways you could accomplish that. One option is pretty simple, and that is you can just do an export. So I'm going to zoom into the area that I'm interested in. I'm just going to grab this area here around Zurich. So if you go to Data, Export Raster, you can export the image but change the clipping geometry to current display extent. And I guess we need to name the output. Which is where? I've seen it. TIFF. Oh, here it is at the top. Sorry. So let's go into that data folder I've been working in. RS data, video data here. So we'll do, let's call this Zurich clip dot image. Save. Okay, so let's hit export. Okay. And you can see like the display changed a little, and that's because, now it's got a different range of pixel values, so it's readjusting like the default % clip there. Okay, so that's simple. So you can basically do an export of a rectangular extent by just simply doing an export raster and then setting your default extent there, or your export extent. Okay, another option is if you want something that's, say, like more of like an irregular shape, you can actually clip it relative to like a polygon boundary. So to do that, I'm going to need a polygon. So I'm going to go into, let's see here, let's get rid of this. I'm going to open up the toolbox. I'm going to do a create feature class, data management. So create feature class. We'll give it a name. We'll say, let's do Zurich mask. And it's going to be a polygon. And we make sure the coordinate system is the same as the image or the map. And that's it. That's all we should need to do. So I'm going to hit run. Okay, so now I have this new empty polygon layer. So now I'm going to go into edit and then create and click on this. And what I'm going to do is grab a circle. So let's just pick like a circular area here that we would like to extract out. Okay, there we have a circle. I'm just going to move it just for the heck of it. So let's move it over a little. It's just kind of centered over the city. Enter. Move, and then, all right, save. Yes. All right, and then do a clear selection. All right, so there we have a circle. So let's say we just wanted to get the cells that fell within that circular extent. So the easiest way to do that in ArcGIS is with the clip raster tool. So let's find that. Note that this is different from clip, which is used for clipping vector data. We want clip raster, which is under data management. Okay, so clip raster. So our input raster, we could use either image. Just to make it run faster, I'll use the one I already clipped since it covers the extent we're interested in. And then the output extent will be defined by the mask. And we want to use input feature for clipping geometry, which means that it will actually clip to the circle as opposed to the rectangular extent that would contain the circle. And then we'll leave the no data value alone, and then we'll call this Zurich clip 2.image. Save. All right, and then I forget what this does. Let's see. The number of columns and rows will be adjusted, and the pixels will be resampled to exactly match the clip extent. Oh, we don't really need to worry about that. Okay, so let's hit run for that. See what we get. Okay, cool. So that looks like that ran. So let's turn this off, and turn this off. And there we go. Now we have this clipped down to just that circular area there around Zurich. Okay, and then just as a side note, when you do these types of operations, it is maintaining all the bands. So if I wanted to go into appearance for this, I should be able to apply like my false color there, composites, because all the bands are maintained. It's not just the current visible bands. And that's even true when you do the extract, the export option. Or maybe not, actually. No, it should be. Let me make sure. Oh, it's there. I didn't know why I didn't take it. But anyway, all the bands are still there. So you can still do that. You can still change your symbology and whatnot. Okay, so that's just some quick examples of doing some clipping and masking of raster data.